Започваме. Добре, здравейте всички. Благодаря ви, че дойдохте на нашето Еразъм събитие. Днес наши трима чуждестранни разъм ще разкажат за своето Еразъм преживяване тук в България. Това са Матен, Давид и Джун. Виждате ги тук. Те ще направят на презентация, ще кажат снимки, може би, ще разкажат може би малко за своите университети във Франция, академията във Франция. С това ви приветстваме. Guys, you can presentation, you can see.
Okay.
So, hello.
Hello.
Everyone.
We should first introduce ourselves, Martin.
So, my name is Martin. So, I'm from Grenoble in French, in France. Okay. From the Institute of Political Science of Grenoble. So, I'm 18. I'm in my second year, and so, yeah, in Bulgaria since September.
I arrived in Bulgaria with Martin also in September. We are from the same school in Grenoble. And I'm 20, my name is David, and I'm studying politics also.
So, hello, my name is June. I am from Grenoble as well. I study cognitive science and I studied my bachelor in Lyon. And now it's my third and final year. So, okay, so the importance of integration. So what I can say about Erasmus experience and what I find extremely important is first, if you can to learn the basics of the language of the country, because you learn much more about the culture, and most of the time people really appreciate that effort. Like when we see that you try a little bit to speak, they were more likely to share their experience, to share with you local places, local activities, and I know that because I made some Bulgarian friends, I discovered places that I would never discover just by myself or just with Erasmus people, even if they're great. But still, knowing local people is really nice, and you should try as much as you can. And also, don't be shy. Like if you arrive in a country and if, for example, you like music, you like sports, try to subscribe for a course. Like, for example, I subscribed for climbing gym, and I also visited a volleyball team. And then I met a lot of Bulgarian people. They were super happy to see me here, and yeah, I discovered a lot. So try some stuff, discover, go, and enjoy. It's just 1 year experience, so do it.
So, yeah, totally. I'm going to follow a bit on what June said about the Erasmus life in general. So, as she said about integrations, you can meet locals first. They are one of the first encounters you will have, and it's really a way to discover a lot of things. And I think you also come here to discover a new culture. I mean, that's also the idea I had about coming in Bulgaria. You have first the locals, you have also the Erasmus community. That's the group in which you came in general. And I mean, the Erasmus community is firstly the students you know from, for example, your New Bulgarian University, but then you will also meet people from other universities in town, depending on the side of the town you are coming to. And Erasmus is not only students, it can also be volunteers that are here. For example, it's my personal experience. I met a lot of volunteers that are here in Bulgaria, not only in Sofia, but in other cities. But it's also a great encounter. And you will always find people in that community that are very interesting stories to listen to and common passions that you can develop. And with that two categories of people, you can start to do some activities apart from your studies. For example, trips are very interesting. For my personal experience, discovering Bulgaria and the country apart from Sofia, which is, as we must say, quite different also from the rest. The rest of the country is really interesting. You see a lot of beautiful landscapes. I was very blown away by a lot of places here, and So that's the first thing, the countryside. Don't stay, for example, in a city and just go around a bit, and you will find some hiding gems in the countryside. You can also go in other countries depending on where you are. I mean, Sofia, for example, is quite a central place where you can go to a lot of other countries. We went to Greece, we went to Macedonia, to Turkey for some of us, and it gets me to like a bit more quite philosophical reflection. No, I won't say philosophical, but I think that Erasmus brings a new state of mind to you. For example, I would have never thought about traveling so much when I'm studying in France. I mean, there are different reasons. Sure, I have more classes, I would say, than I would have here. But also, it's just coming to a new country opens up your mind and what you think you are more eager to start new things and discover new passions. I mean, for example, I got way more into music since I'm here because I felt like it's a different place where I can start new things, and that in a way liberated me from some pressures I would have both for myself and, for example, for my family or something. So it's a new start and a new start in yourself as well, I think.
So, yeah, general feedback, what we could say in the end. Yeah, some pieces of advice. Shared flat or the dormitories are usually a very great experience. Most of us had really great experiences with that. Some of us had some troubles, but you should definitely try to get into common places to live, because you can meet more deeply some people and do some stuff on the moment. Like, yeah, quite often we prepared things like one night, and the day in the next morning we would left all together with the flat. So yeah, it's kind of things that you couldn't do if you're alone. Yeah, meeting local people, as we said earlier, is very important to understand better the country. Very important, it's possible to extend your Erasmus from 1 to 2 semesters, and this is something that some people did, for example, June. And some people regret because they didn't do it soon enough, and they had to go back after 1 semester, but they would have liked to stay 2 semesters in the end. So if you finally go on Erasmus and want to stay 2 semesters, it's possible, but you have to do it early, so
just do it.
Just do it.
As soon as possible.
And then getting in touch with local people may be very helpful. And for example, here in Sofia, we have a special Facebook group called Foreigners and Friends in Sofia. And I think it pretty much exists in the whole world, in the biggest cities. And you can enter it very easily. And then once you're there, you can very easily ask, for example, where to find a flat, which neighborhood is recommendable, and everything like that. Any kind of advices that you may be very helpful to have before arriving in the country.
If I can have something, for example, speaking for myself, it's actually how I found my accommodation. I knew actually someone who was also French, but living here and with a Bulgarian husband, and that could help me to make the calls. For example, when I called for a flat and the people didn't speak that much English, I could also rely first on the Bulgarian persons I know to have a flat, and it saved me a lot of let's say travel arriving, and I could really focus on getting integrated fast.
Yeah. And general likes and dislikes. So the first one would be the cultural gap, which can be, which is most of the time a positive point for 1 year, because we are always discovering new stuff and trying to understand the way of thinking and the way of living up here. But also sometimes it's a bit tiring and it can be felt as a negative point, but yeah. And all of that within Europe, European Union, which could be a big country, but actually it's very, very different. And a lot of free time that enables you to travel, to meet people, to enjoy your time in the country and to discover the country outside of the university. And the Erasmus and ESN life, which also can be seen as a positive and negative point, because it's very nice, you can meet a lot of people. ESN is doing a lot of stuff, organizing trips, events, parties. But also if you stay too much into that, you may not discover some things that are in the culture in the real country, because you stay too much within the international community. So it can be very interesting to know it, but not to stay too much in this.
Yeah, try to balance between Erasmus life.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. И сега, както винаги на нашите срещи, ще се проведе сесия за въпроси и отговори. Тя ще бъде на английски. Може да дават своите въпроси към тях. Guys, if you like, you can sit. And if the audience has some questions,
I have a question. Hi guys, can you share some information about your home university? Tell us more about France and where you come from.
Okay. So Martin and me, we are from the Institute of Political Studies of Grenoble. What to say? So it's somehow part of university in France, but in
It's
different
not
way.
exactly how a university it's not exactly a university as we understand it.
It's called a higher school in French, but anyway, it's somehow a university. And what about that?
Well, we can say that.
I don't know which one to.
Can I ask something? In what ways is your university similar to your Bulgarian? And in what way you would say it's different?
Oh, I have something for that. I would like to say that Erasmus office here is much better than the Erasmus office in France. And I would like to thank the Erasmus office so much. Elena is not here anymore, but thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much, because you were really efficient. Because in France, it wasn't the case. And I don't know how is it similar. Grade system or not the same.
I think we
Would
have.
you say you have more classes or more free time?
In France, we have more classes than here, but also because here we can pick the classes as we want them, so it's.
Which is really different. Like you can choose whatever you want to study. In France, you have like one field of study, and so automatically one timetable.
Yeah.
And also regarding to the exam, you have real deadline. I mean, I mean, if you don't submit a work, you failed the lecture, and then you have to do the year again if you cannot compensate. And here you have this. It's more independent, and I have to say that I kind of like it. Like if you have a really busy week, you know that you can do it for the next one. In France, it's much more like
straightforward.
Yeah, and it's not so good.
I would say one major difference also is that the building here is rather tiny, and there are a lot of different fields of studies. While in France, I think the main universities are very big and spread. And for example, they will have like one campus with only social sciences. And if you want to do arts, you have to travel a lot. And this is very nice because in my case here, I picked some art classes within my learning agreement because the building was enabling me to do it and to easily change.
And I don't know if you feel that, but I feel like here the classes are much more narrow in what they teach us, and not narrow in a bad way, but much more precise. And for example, if you go to France in political science field, the topics will maybe be very much broader, which can throw you off maybe at some point at the beginning. That's just a little difference that we can see.
I guess it depends also what you
what you study as well.
And which year also, because I think the first year was very
Can I ask is the way in which the professors interact or teach the material here different from
Well, in France, usually we have big amphitheater with like 200 people, 200 students. So we don't, in this case, we don't have much interaction with the students, the teachers, and sometimes we have other type of classes that are like 30, 35 students with one teacher, and we're supposed to have more interactions, but still here when we arrive and we figure out that we are like 5 per class,
here,
it was very...
here like there are really less students in one class, and this is really pleasant, like, and the teacher are really like, really in that interaction way of doing, and they're also really present, and I don't know, I loved my teachers from my master, like they're really here. There is a real interaction. You can ask them questions, you can come to their office, and they want you to ask questions, and they make you feel really comfortable, and you feel that you're here. In France, it's well more, I am the teacher, you're the student, and you listen a little bit, and there's more distance, I would say. And it's not like you can come to their office. They would be too busy and whatever. I like that. But I guess it's because in France there are really more students, and it's kind of harder to have these interactions, relationships.
Do you guys think you're gonna go Erasmus in your master if you decide to do it?
Definitely.
I wish.
I would love to, but the thing is that because we already did an Erasmus now, some other students will have the priority. Like, so I guess we would all try, but it won't be so easy.
So,
Yeah. Since I'm here, I've already started to look which masters give me the opportunity to live again a maximum of time, because it's been such an amazing experience and I would say fresh air, and that's really, really fulfilling.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Is there something that you didn't like and you think that it could be improved?
in the university.
Improved.
Yes, in the university.
Like a recommendation?
Yes, for sure, but we have to think about it.
In general,
Maybe some more information in English
more courses.
or French or
Ah,
any other language.
maybe, translate, like,
What I would say
Yeah.
is that the website
Yeah.
in English, the English part is only about the English part of the university.
Yeah.
And you don't have information about the Bulgarian classes, for example. All the Bulgarian, they are not translated in the
Like-
website.
like
We're
actually
working on
even on the
Okay.
e-student or the Moodle, like nothing is translated actually.
Yeah, Eastern is translated. No,
No.
Moodle is translated, but very bad.
No, when the teachers write in English, it's fine, but like the
Yeah.
course, like nothing is, everything is in Bulgarian.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you like the Bulgarian language course?
Yeah,
You did?
yeah. The intensive language course, the 1 month before was very, very,
Yeah,
very nice.
this
very
month was so useful.
Yeah.
Really.
And
then-
also because we
yeah.
met the Erasmus people.
Yeah, and really learning the basic was so important. And I think that thanks to that month, we wanted to continue. And
Yeah.
maybe without this month, we wouldn't have subscribed or enrolled.
That's
for
what the
course.
three of us did. We wanted to continue
Yeah.
on learning the language. Yeah.
And now we can speak a little bit Bulgarian. I'm really proud of that. I will
Yeah,
probably
you should
forget
be.
everything, but
It's a different one, like a difficult one to learn.
yeah. But even the tiny
Yeah,
conversation that you can have is really pleasant. Like,
So yeah, one big
Find
advice.
the alphabet very difficult.
the alphabet
Yes,
is not
yeah.
the
It's
hard.
not-
Yeah, it's,
No.
it's really hard, but it's not the harder.
No, the harder part is like,
Just the words.
Syntax.
All the words.
Yeah. But really, learning a new language is also a big part and a satisfying part as well.
Improving language skills.
Would you say that the university not having accommodation for students is a big problem for Erasmus students, or not that much?
Yes.
I wouldn't say so because
Because it's
well,
like
it's
living in a dorm or shared
I
flat.
think the thing is that
Would be better than-
due to that, most of the Erasmus students in NBU, we are all living in the city center, which is a very pleasant place to live, I think, and to enjoy the nightlife, for example, and all the activities. And I think the only other place that would be nice would be the Studentski Grad with the dorms that have another very different feeling, but that can be nice also. But it's very far away from here, so even if you had dorms there, it would be so complicated to join, to reach in the EU that I think actually it's not the big
It's
deal.
not that
No,
big of a deal.
no.
And actually, do people are happy of the dorms? Like among
Yeah,
the
people-
people you know?
Yeah, it depends on who, but the
Yeah.
one that stayed there are very happy in the end.
But it's a little bit stressful at first when you see that you have to look by yourself.
Yeah.
But at the end, we all managed to find something quite good. And as he said, there's a lot of Facebook groups that are here to help you. And even that, the fact that we didn't have a flat forced us to sleep in hostels.
Right.
And
yeah,
I
we
mean,
discovered a lot
and
actually.
these hostels were really helpful. Like we met a lot of people, they helped us, and it was really nice experience anyway.
And even to discover the city actually, because we changed several
Yeah.
times.
And the
And
hostels
it-
are nice and small and arty. And
Yeah, also.
in the city center.
And every time in a different place in the city center, so you can discover the neighborhood,
Yeah.
the neighborhoods, and
The fact that it's not so easy, like that forced you to go in the streets
Yeah.
and to speak to people
People, yeah.
and to be
Face difficulties.
brave. Yeah.
and to call the people to have the
Yeah.
flat. I couldn't remember that, but you know, I think of it. We were calling, and it was very stressful, but in the end, it was funny.
we had to do so. So
But,
actually, I think it's
It gave us autonomy in a way, more autonomy. I mean, for example, for myself, I know that
Mhm.
I've reached a new level. No. I mean,
No, yeah.
and
No, but yeah,
you have to be prepared for it to have to do something, especially if it's the first year that you don't live in your
Yeah.
home with your parents.
Kind of
which
to
can be
deal
the
with
case.
life situations
Yeah,
that you weren't
completely.
prepared for
you're
before.
forced to go.
Yeah. Awesome.
So you said you visited the countryside. Did you manage to go to the seaside?
Yeah, we went actually during the first
yeah,
month.
yeah,
They brought us
yes.
to Primorsko.
Yeah.
Which was very nice.
So yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. It's really cool.
And then just going over the weekends by all means of transport. I mean, either train or bus.
You traveled by train to the seaside?
No,
No.
not to the seaside.
I did.
To the
You
seaside?
did?
Ah, oui, c'est vrai.
With BDG?
I don't remember the
Yeah. It's the
It was
national.
just
Yeah, the
like
national railway.
6 hours train going all through to Varna.
Yeah, by train?
Yeah.
Did you
Long,
like it?
no toilets. That was a nice experience. No, that was nice.
But yeah.
Good. Well done.
Yeah.
I have one question. Which is your favorite town, city in Bulgaria in general?
I think
Don't say so.
I didn't visit
That many.
enough cities to think.
And we didn't live like.
Yeah.
I had time to feel really well here. I mean,
Yeah.
feel like at
We love
home.
Sofia.
And I mean, there are some other beautiful cities in Bulgaria. Plovdiv is also a very nice city, but as I only spent some days there to
Yeah,
visit
we're going
and
to
everything,
visit.
it's not
Yeah.
the same feeling as really getting in the life of Sofia.
I think I just really love the tiny Bulgarian villages with all the grapes and just the landscapes and just the nature. I never lived there, so I cannot say about the conditions, but just it's really, really pretty. Really pretty. Any more questions?
No.
Well,
Thank you very much.
then thank you very much.
Много благодаря на всички, че дойдохте. Благодарим
Thank
и
you.
на тримата студенти, че представяха. И ви очакваме на следващото ни събитие на 31 май, отново тук в 4:20, където наш студент, който беше в Италия, ще разказва за своето Еразъм преживяване. Много да им благодарим.
There's something else the first of May.
13th, okay.